All right, we are back with another Growth Lab training session, and today we're joined by marketing experts Alex and Mark from Breadloaf. Welcome back to the Growth Lab.
Hey.
Thanks, Hans.
How you guys been?
Excellent.
Doing
Excellent.
amazing as usual. Always a pleasure to be here with the Growth Labs.
Summer
Yeah.
2020.
Glad to have you guys back. So build your BFCM campaign like a pro. What can we expect to learn from you guys today?
Well, we've got an action-packed masterclass today. We're going to be covering a lot. We're going to be going over how to build your campaign calendar for the holiday season with email marketing, some best practices. We're going to be diving into Shopify email and Klaviyo. And we're also going to be getting some tips from Alex on how to write the ultimate email from a content perspective. So we got a lot we're going to be covering today.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome. And we will be sharing a copy of the slides, all the pro tips and tools that Alex and Mark might be dropping, as well as a replay. If you haven't checked it out already, brand marketer, Mark, anything you want to say about that?
Yeah. So we actually launched a really cool program out of doing the Growth Labs over the last few months. We realized there's a lot of brands that aren't ready to actually hire us as an agency yet. So we built out this really cool program. It's called the Brand Marketer Growth, and it's a group of entrepreneurs owning DTC commerce stores that work with us on a weekly basis. And I'll be giving you guys a little bit more information about that towards the end and how you can get in touch with us.
Sounds great. Cool. Also, if you haven't checked out our community on Facebook, please check it out. I'll be dropping a link to it in the chat, along with any pro tips and tools that Mark and Alex might be mentioning. So yeah, without further ado, take it away.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Really excited to be here today. Before we just jump into this, I always like to give you guys a little bit of background about Alex and I. We both work for Breadloaf, which is an agency based out of LA. And we specifically focus on retention marketing through our program, Retention Labs. I'll let Alex give you a little bit of her background. She's our lead copywriter and kind of leads a lot of the email copywriting that we do for our clients.
Hey guys, I'm Alex. I'm currently located in Brooklyn, New York. And I'm the copywriter for Breadloaf, and we're going to go over everything that you need to know from start to finish, subject line to sign off to call to action on your holiday emails. We're going to go over some best practices a little bit later in the session today. And then if you have any questions, we're always going to be available to sort of take it offline after the session.
Awesome. And then we actually have a little special gift for you guys towards the end. I don't want to talk too much about it, but for those of you that do stick around today, we have a little special offering that we put together for you guys. So stick around. You guys are going to get a lot of information today. This stuff is so important for right now. These, if you haven't started holiday planning yet, it's right now. Like, this is the time to be doing this. So like I said, we're going to be diving into a little bit of Black Friday, Cyber Monday holiday planning for the first part. We got some slides to share, and then we're going to be breaking down into a little bit of a workshop. We're going to be going through Shopify email and how you can use Shopify email to launch your holiday campaigns. And we're also going to be diving into the more advanced version using Klaviyo. So a lot to cover today, and we're ready to go.
And I am going to be manning the chat. So I see everyone's sort of saying like hello and where you represent, and that's great. So if you have questions as we go along, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'm going to be sort of throwing those to Mark, and we'll tackle as many of them as possible. Also, Mark, should I go ahead and drop our emails in there?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to tell them a little bit about that?
Sure. We are going to give you guys the opportunity to send us copy from an email that you might want to be sending out for your holiday campaigns. I'm going to be putting my email and Mark's email in the chat right now. Feel free to send us the copy as essentially a test email. And then at the end of the session, we're going to do a teardown of as many of them as we can, and just sort of do like a minute, 30 seconds maybe. Just
sure, towards the end.
Whatever we can figure out to just give you like pointers on how to make it better. So right now, check the chat. It's going to be mark@webakebread.com. And then alexandra@webakebread.com.
Yeah, and this is a great time for you guys to get real-time feedback. So if you guys have any recent campaigns that you guys are launching on a weekly basis, or a welcome email, whatever it is, if you guys wanted to get real-time feedback on what we think about the strategy, the creative, and the messaging, like, we will do that live breakdown towards the end, right during questions. So yeah, so shoot us over, and then at the end, we're going to get to that. Awesome. So I'm going to actually start off by sharing my screen right now. And we're going to go into our little presentation for the first part of it today. Cool. All right. Alex, just want to check, is my screen live?
Yes, it is. I can
Awesome.
see your mouse moving.
Great. So like I said, guys, we are here for the email marketing masterclass, Build Your Black Friday, Cyber Monday campaigns like a pro. What we're going to be diving into is a little bit of a workshop agenda. So we're going to go into holiday 2020 overview. Then we're going to get into building your campaign strategy, then laying out your calendar, what your calendar should look like, and then how to build your list. This is list growing season right now. And then we're going to go into creating the right offer, how you should be setting up your execution strategy, and then we're going to dive into the workshop. So we're going to kind of go through these slides as fast as we can, just because we have an hour with you today. But if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. Alex will call it out, and we'll hopefully be able to get to you.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So holiday 2020 overview. As all of you know, like, this season is going to be super important. If the holiday season hasn't been important in the past, with everything going on with COVID-19 and the economy and retail being shut down, this is a massive opportunity for all of you running Shopify e-commerce stores. And to take advantage of that opportunity, you need to make sure that you're doing quite a few things well in advance. Because if you don't do those things in advance, as you show up to Black Friday, Cyber Monday week, you're not going to be ready to take advantage of the opportunity. With that being said, why is it such a big opportunity? Well, as you all know, like, retail's been shut down for the most part. Like, people have been buying stuff online more than ever before. E-commerce has grown at a massive rate since March in multiple different categories. So the more you guys can be layering through the things we're going to talk about, the more success you're going to have during the holiday season this year. So building your campaign strategy. When I talk about strategy, the first thing we want to outline is what type of campaigns you want to send, what type of products you want to feature, what type of offers do you want to feature. And after we come up with the strategy and we kind of map out what do we have that's significant to actually market to our clients' customers, we put together a full calendar. We're going to talk about the calendar a little in advance. But even before we get to the calendar, we actually build a brief. Every campaign within the campaign strategy has a brief. And that brief is really entailing what's significant that we're talking about, what products are we promoting, what's the offer, what is that campaign embody, and what's its main objective. And what Alex really leads at our company doing is actually taking that brief and turning it to life. So Alex, while we're talking about campaign strategy, do you want to talk a little bit about your process when you're actually leading the copywriting and building the messaging around each campaign?
Sure. So for, as we might have said before, for holiday campaign strategizing, it's not really any different than the typical evergreen best practices. The first thing that I would do is take a look at who the client is. If you were doing your own copywriting, clearly it would be yourself, but you have a specific tone to the way you speak to your audience, and you have a specific voice. That means that there are certain words that maybe your audience really likes that resonate with them. So you want to make sure you hit those words. You also want to make sure you avoid certain words that don't resonate with them. So it's kind of important for you to determine for yourself, what is my voice and what is my tone? Do I speak to a younger audience, an older audience? Are they more rural? Are they in the city? So you kind of have to have that stuff in your mind before you start. Then we're going to do subject lines and previews. Emojis perform really well in subject lines, not necessarily overkill, but it does catch people's eyes. But you do want to make sure that the subject line and the preview, which is the text that you would see on your phone or in your inbox on your desktop as like the secondary text, you want to make sure that's engaging, that it explains enough without giving everything away. But it kind of depends. If we just did, today I was working on copy for one of our clients that had a product launch, and we've been hyping that campaign for a while. So you want to do more mysterious subject lines to pique people's interest. So the most important thing when you're setting out to write an email is to know what the objective of the email is. So we will get into this later, but is it an offer? Is it a sale? Is it something that is timely? Is it evergreen? Maybe it's for a segment of people who haven't bought from you in a while. You have to have an objective. Otherwise, you want to have a headline, some subhead text, a body of the email, and then a call to action. 1 or 2 calls to action, whether it's shop now, check out our collection, follow us on Instagram. Those are the basic bare bones components of a good email. Also, you're going to have to design it, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah.
So after you have the strategy put together and you know what type of campaigns you're going to send, you need to put that together in a calendar. And, even before that, you need to really understand what are some key dates that you need to build these campaigns around. Well, this year, Black Friday's on Friday, November 27th, Small Business Saturday, which is part of Small Business Week. Black Friday, Cyber Monday week is on that Saturday, the day after. And Small Business Saturday is really a great way for you all to promote that you're a small business, telling your story. Like, that's what people want to hear. People want to support small business now more than ever before. And this is a great opportunity for you to connect with your audience and then tell them as the other customers and your following, like, how did you create your company? And then we roll into Cyber Monday and then into Giving Tuesday. And then this is a little bit more of a breakdown on what we are anticipating running for a lot of our clients this year. And like I said, this is a really aggressive calendar. Like, as you can see here, there's several campaigns in order, but I wanted you all to be able to see like the way that we're thinking when we're creating campaigns for our clients and what's going on. So we're actually going to be starting to promote Black Friday, Cyber Monday campaigns on Tuesday, November 17th this year. Then we're going to roll into another pre-promotion on Thursday, the 19th. Then we're going to launch an early access campaign on Sunday, November 22nd. So we're actually going to be launching all Black Friday campaigns on Sunday this year. Every year it gets further and further back. You're going to see some brands that are actually going to be launching campaigns well into the week before, the week of the 17th. But we really want to focus on that Sunday. We'll probably adjust this for a couple clients. But part of the reason that you want to look at launching your campaigns before Black Friday actually starts is because there's only so many dollars available out there that people are spending on gifts, right? And if someone takes those extra gifting dollars they have to buy from someone else who started a campaign earlier, they no longer have the opportunity to buy from you. So we want to make sure that we're capturing that customer's attention, and we're also giving the campaign long enough to live. Like, sometimes a day or 48 hours or a few days isn't long enough. And also, if you're running paid media, if you're running Facebook ads in paid search, Google ads to complement what you're doing through email marketing, you know that ads need some time to live. And if you let this campaign run for longer, you're going to have more opportunity to capture, clicks and sales through ads as well. So we're rolling through. We're going to be launching early access on Sunday, November 22nd. Then we roll into We roll into Black Friday, another follow-up email on that Monday, another one on Tuesday, Wednesday. Then on Thanksgiving, we're going to send it in the early evening around 4:30, 5 o'clock after people are getting done with their turkey dinner. And then on Friday, we're planning to send around 3 campaigns. And what you'll also notice, what we don't really talk about in here, we're segmenting out everyone that purchased, throughout the week or two before that. So people that are, that it might seem like we're hitting up a lot of people, but we're giving them a reminder, hey, the sale's still going on. We're going to be putting in call to actions and adding a scarcity tactic, are the clients that are more apparel fashion brands, we're going to be putting call to actions in there where it's like, hey, get this specific item in your size before it's gone. We only have so much inventory. So we're going to be using a lot of scarcity, including around the offers to really get people to buy. And then as we roll into Saturday, November 28th, Small Business Saturday, if our clients have good stories, or if you have good stories, we recommend building it around your story, how you started the company, what are you doing? And then you can also run, your Black Friday sale through Small Business Saturday or change around an offer. And then on Sunday, November 29th, we're going to start Cyber Monday early. So we have some clients that we're going to be running the same offer, through this full week to 2 week period. And then we have some clients who are actually going to change up the offer on Cyber Monday. So if someone, maybe wanted 1% off and they bought through 1% off, we're no longer going to market to them. And then we might change up an offer to $1 off amount on Cyber Monday. So we're going to get someone and really test out a different angle. Some clients, like I said, because they're running a lot of paid media, we're not going to mess with the offer because we want to make sure those ads have room to really lift and live on through this week to 2 week period. And then on Monday, November 30th, we are then launching, of course, the official Cyber Monday campaigns. We're going to send around 3 that day.
Question for you, Mark.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So Sarah is asking, is this something that you build in Shopify or through an app?
Yeah, for sure. Good question. So we recommend you use a project management system. We use Basecamp as our internal system for all of our clients are integrated in with there. It's super transparent, but you can use Asana, you can use Monday, you can use any project management system. I think Asana is free up to 10 users, something like that. Really will help you stay organized. As you can see, we're talking about doing a lot of work. There's a lot of campaigns, there's a lot of creative, lots of things that need to be built out. So I definitely recommend you use the system. These are actually just screenshots. I built this calendar out in Basecamp and just took some screenshots of it because it was so clean and easy for me to visually see. But I hope that helps. Any other questions, Alex?
There are, but I didn't realize that you were going to keep going. So I want to get through this before I give you the rest.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Yeah. So now we're in December. So, we got the first half, those last week and a half, 2 weeks in November, and now we're off to December. So December 1st is Giving Tuesday. We're going to send an email in the morning, and this is where we're going to be working with clients that have some type of charity that they're working with. We have some clients that work with various different charities, and this is a way to add a give back component to your business, or double that give back component if you already have it, and really give people a reason to buy for the good and really incorporate that charity in the things you're doing. And then on Friday, December 4th, that's when we recommend launching a gift guide campaign. So either December 3rd or 4th. And that gift guide campaign should really focus on a couple different avatars you have of gifting customers. So think of why someone would actually buy a gift for their mom or for their brother or for their dad or for their sister or their friend or their spouse or their girlfriend. If you have specific products that make good gifts, tell people why they would be good gifts. And that's how we recommend building out a gift guide. Just doing a regular guide where it's like, oh, here's our products. This is super pretty. This is super nice. It doesn't really tell a story. Find a way to build a story around the content in your gift guide campaign. And you're going to see that you're going to get some really good results out of this. And this is also something that you could build as a landing page on your site and run paid media to afterwards as well. Then we roll into December 9th, which, this I'm calling last day for holiday delivery is 1 week away. So I'm going to take a step back and talk about why we're putting this campaign in here. So the last day to ship is usually somewhere around December 15th to December 18th. Those dates differ between your different carriers, whether you're shipping USPS, DHL, FedEx, or UPS. All of them are going to have different shipping dates. I definitely recommend that you talk with your shipping company or your 3PL, whoever's doing your shipping, on what's the last day to deliver for guaranteed holiday delivery. And then what you're going to want to do is back that out a week and then send a scarcity call to action email that's like, hey, just want to let you know we have a week. You have 1 week left to be able to get guaranteed delivery. Use that scarcity tactic as a reason why someone's going to have to buy. Being like, hey, if you want to buy a gift, it's time to do it right now. Yeah. And then we're going into another idea that we had on December 10th is to do a holiday gift product feature. So this is if you have a specific bundle. Do you have a bundle or something that's cool around, $50 to $80 that makes a good gift, has good margin? A lot of our clients are actually doing that type of bundle. And that's another reason to give someone an idea why to buy a gift. This might be a little bit more of a generic bundle versus the gift guide that's more focused towards why you should buy for this specific type of avatar. This will be more of like a great bundle that someone could buy as a gift, type of last minute gift idea. And then, like I said, we built out this calendar for Tuesday, December 15th to be the last day to ship. So the day before, Monday, December 14th, notification, last day to order for holiday delivery is for tomorrow. That's where we're going to put that in there. It might be good too to put in a % off, $100 or more purchase, something like that, or free shipping over a certain dollar amount. Like give someone another reason with that call to action for holiday delivery. I think that would be great. And then, like I said, that last day to ship, another notification. Hey, today's the last day to ship, using that as a tactic. And then what you can also do is after it was that guaranteed last day to ship, and people aren't going to get a gift in the mail in time for Christmas, it's great to run a gift card campaign. If you've actually got something that's fun that someone can download or wrap up really nicely as a digital download with a gift card, it's always great. But use that as a way, hey, last minute gifts, get a gift card for your friends or family. And then, of course, the day after Christmas is Saturday, December 26th this year. The day after Christmas is a great day to start running a after Christmas sale promotion. I definitely recommend running this through December 26th through December 29th. And that after Christmas promotion, I would put together a good offer. This is going to help you run through some inventory through the end of 2020, just to get some inventory off the books. And then things that didn't sell during the holiday craze. And it's also a great opportunity just off pure fact that people get money as gifts. They get gifted money. And they have more discretionary income to spend money on themselves. Grandma might have given them $100. So-and-so gave them money, and they now love your brand, and then give them a reason to buy from you when they have that holiday cash. Yeah.
I was going to say, do you want to take a break for a question?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Okay. So this is more of a list building question, which I think we'll get to later, but Jack is asking, I think this is a good question. Because you have to think in terms of relativity, but is 1,500 signups, I suppose, for your mailing list, a big enough number of subscribers to see good results? And I think it's a good time to talk about relativity, because what does good mean, really? And feel free to take it from there.
For sure. So 1,500 is a really small list. I wouldn't recommend going that aggressive with this calendar of 1,500, but I am going to tell you some things that you can be doing in a minute to help grow that list to 5 to 10 to 15,000 people over the next, 60, 90 days. So we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Awesome. Another question really quickly is, Antonio is asking, can these be set up for automation?
You don't want to run any automation on this for the pure fact that these are all contingent upon specific days. So anytime you run an automation campaign, you want to make sure that content's evergreen. It's going to live on for forever. This is specifically going to be for each specific day. As you can see, if we send something as last day for holiday delivery on December 15th, it's really going to be no good to send that campaign after December 15th because it's specific to these specific dates. So hope that helps.
Piggybacking on that while we're in the groove, there were a couple of questions about what time zone you should focus on sending. One person asked if Eastern was the sort of like standard, and then the other person asked about using the time warp feature to make sure it sends in the same across time zones.
Good question. So this is what I'll tell you. And we've had quite a few clients that we've ran tests through. And what we have found is that there is no perfect time to send an email. Everyone's audience changes and evolves. And also to send the time warp, for some reason, we've ran tests with some higher level, Shopify accounts, brands that are doing, 8 figures a year. And we actually ran tests to see if it did affect to send an email in the same time zone, say at 3 p.m. Pacific, which we found that sending emails in the afternoon has been quite effective over the last 6 months. There's just something about people at the end of the day getting an offer versus first thing in the morning. And what we found is, we'll send it at 3 p.m. Pacific, and that means that the East Coast is getting it at 6 p.m. and versus sending it all at 6 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, or 3 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. And what we've realized is there's no direct answer on that. And the best way to do this is to run your own tests and to see when your open rates and your click-through rates and your actual purchase rates are the best. And that's going to be just doing a little on your own and test through. You just remember we're fighting for inbox space with tens of thousands of other brands. And the best way to do it is just figure out what works for you. Like I said, recently, what we found is that sending emails kind of in the mid-morning work really well, or the mid-afternoon. And for whatever reason, different brands and shoppers perform differently. Like what we've realized is like fashion apparel brands that are targeting female work really well in the afternoon. And we found that some other brands actually work better in the early morning, midday. So like I said, there's no direct answer to that, but I hope that helps.
Yeah. And I think most of the people that are in this chat right now actually are in the fashion and jewelry space.
Oh,
so
cool.
Hopefully that
Awesome.
does apply to most of you. And then while we're on the subject, because I think this is a really good one to mention, when it comes to segmenting, I think it was Gabriella asked about if you can segment the emails to make sure that someone, if they bought in a pre-campaign, like sort of in a promo phase, to make sure that they won't get the actual campaign like follow-up email.
Absolutely. For sure. So I can actually, kind of walk you guys through that, just because I know this is a big question when we dive into Klaviyo in a minute. We're going to be diving into one of our clients and kind of showing you how you can build those segments. But yeah, what you're going to want to do is with whatever email tool you're using, whether it's Klaviyo or Shopify email or MailChimp, whatever it is, you're always going to want to make sure that if you sent like a Black Friday email on this Sunday, on this Tuesday, or what is it, the Sunday that we talked about, the early access email, that these following up emails, no one's going to get those, right? We don't want to just bombard buyers that already bought from us. The chance of them buying again is very slim throughout that small period. So we'll show you, it's really easy. I'm going to show you guys in Klaviyo how to do it, where you can just segment out those specific users. But yeah, we'll talk through a little bit of that. I hope that helps.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So like I said, finishing up the December 2020 calendar, we have a email on December 29th. That's an after Christmas sale reminder email. Hey, the after Christmas sale ends tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, December 30th, the after Christmas sale ends tonight. So that's kind of how we've put together this calendar. Like I said, we'll be sharing these slides with you at the end. So if you guys want access to this, you'll easily be able to get it and download it and have access to this. So this is part of a question that we mentioned before, building your list. So if you've got a small list to a couple hundred, a couple thousand people, like the gentleman we answered a question to a minute ago, the best thing you can be doing right now in September, October, and the first part of November is actually running sweepstakes. So there's 3 platforms that we really like. There's Viral Sweeps, there's Viper, there's Dojo Mojo. These are great platforms to be running your own viral sweepstakes. And what I mean by this is putting together a sweepstakes package that you can then market to your existing customers and your existing list, and build in and gamify the experience to get them to share the sweepstakes with their friends and give them a reward for joining and giving them more points to be able to win. Another great way to do this is to use Dojo Mojo or even one of these other platforms. You can partner with like-minded brands that are complementary to yours and run partnership sweepstakes. And this costs you very little money. All you need to do is approach brands that are like-minded, that I'm sure you guys know, be like, hey, we want to run a sweepstakes. This is how it's going to work. We each donate a little bit of a product. We put together a giveaway. We write some messaging, create some creative around it, get it live using one of these platforms. And then pretty much every brand can do a couple things. Every brand can commit to sending a couple of emails to their list saying, hey, we're running the sweepstakes with these brands. Sign up here, and then posting on their organic social, Instagram stories, and so forth. And then also, even if you guys want, which is always great, is putting a little ad budget behind it and running to all your retargeting audiences. If every one of the brands involved says, hey, we're going to spend $300 on a small budget to try to drive our retargeting audience directly to the sweepstakes, this is a great way to double, triple, quadruple your list if it's done right and it's the right sweepstakes before the holiday season. So yeah, I highly recommend you guys do this. Any questions about this in the chat, Alexandra?
Something was actually asked about the size of the list that you would recommend to run an aggressive campaign. So as far as the number of emails and campaigns that are being sent out, like, do you have an ideal?
Yeah, I would say for the campaign calendar that we presented, I wouldn't do that if I had less than like 8,000 to 10,000 people.
Okay.
If it's less than that, then I would say, hey, tone it back a little. But I'll also tell you this, you don't get any brownie points in marketing for not being aggressive. So
right. Yeah.
I can tell you that if you put together that calendar, you will generate more revenue out of it.
Yeah. Are we going to get into the examples of sweepstakes?
I didn't really have any specific sweepstakes examples I was going to give today, but I will tell you this. Jack Paxton, who's a good friend and an old colleague of mine, he's been on the Growth Labs in the past. He is actually the founder of Viper, and they have an amazing blog. And I definitely recommend you guys go into their site. It's viper.io and reading up on their blog. They have so many great examples of different sweepstakes, and I think you get a lot of value out of that.
Awesome. This may not be the same thing. Yeah. Sorry, this may not be the same thing, but if there's any interest on Instagram to get people to be involved with like just putting something up there and tagging a person, like I've been tagged recently in a couple of sweepstakes that my friends were trying to be involved with, which wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't apply for an email list. I'm trying to think of something that has worked on me recently.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll chime in later.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I know what Alex, I'm assuming what you're talking about, Alex, is the like little viral social sweepstakes as well. And there are ways that you could do that. You could implement something where it's like, hey, tag your friends and we're going to give something away to people that tag multiple friends and run another little sweepstake out of the sweepstakes. So just think about how can you gamify your sweepstakes and get it to go viral. That's what's most important about this. Cool. So creating the right offers. So some ideas that we have for offers for you guys is the best offer that I have seen that has worked countless time and time again throughout the holiday season is actually a spend X, get % off, or spend X, get a dollar amount off. So this is a kind of a standard offer, and this all depends on your price point too, how many products you have. But if you have a full marketplace, like you're a fashion brand and you're selling items for anywhere from $50 to $300, and your average order value is somewhere around 100 to 200, this is a great tiered breakdown. And if you're on the regular version of Shopify, if you're not on Plus, you're going to have to actually create 3 different codes to run this. So there's no way to run this without being on Plus and actually building a script where it automatically gets added. I just want to let you guys know that. But this works really well. You just have to build in these 3 different codes, and then someone has to use that code. If you're going to do it this way, I highly recommend adding a sticky header to your site with these 3 codes in there so people can see it and they can easily navigate. But this is a breakdown of what I would do. I would say, you can either go percent or dollar off, spend $100 or more, get 20% off with codes, spend $200 off, get 30% off, spend $300 or more, get 40% off, or the dollar breakdown, spend 100 or more, get 20 off, spend 200 or more, get 40 off, spend 300 or more, get 60 off. These are some different ideas I just wanted to throw out there, and you guys can play around with it. Apart from that, we can also run BOGO sales or free gifts. So what's really important is to always make sure that any offer you're running is still going to be profitable and has some value. So always, when you're looking at the offer, is looking at what your margin is, looking at what your average order value is, and then giving incentives for people to purchase over your current AOV. We want to get the average order value up during the holiday season, trying to get those dollars spent, trying to get people to buy multiple things. So the percent off tiered structure is great, but you can also be running a BOGO sale, buy one, get one free, spend over X amount, get a free gift, or BOGO, buy 2 products, get one of equal or lesser value free. So there's a lot of different things you can do here. I wanted to put these 2 slides in here so you guys can get some inspiration. I'm not going to say what is the best thing to run, but I will tell you, always start off with, would you find this relevant? Sometimes when we're working with brands and they're afraid to give up and create a good offer, I'm always asked, hey, what are the brands that you follow and what gets you to buy? And usually that's going to be something that's, going to be enticing. What's going to get someone during this holiday season who opens up one of your email campaigns to actually buy? It needs to be a good offer. Yeah. Yep.
I do this all the time with copy. I actually keep certain emails in my inbox that even from brands that I don't really like, and even better if I don't really like the brand, but I'm compelled to buy something from them, because it's a great cheat sheet for you to see what worked on you psychologically, because that's a lot of it. Yes, it has to be a good product. Yes, your customer base has to have a need for that product, but you definitely just need to be able to create a curiosity gap so people really want to click, or you have to present it to them in a way that they haven't seen before. It always reminds me of when you go into a retail space and you see clothing, right? How many days a week do the attendants there change the organization of the clothes? I do it in my closet when I don't know what to wear. You just take one piece and put it next to a different piece, and somehow it seems like a different option. So if you can just figure out how to arrange your content or the products that you're offering in a different way, maybe that's what got someone to click. Anyway, that's my rant on that. Is I love to use what other people send to me as a cheat sheet to create our own emails.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love what Alex had to say. Is you always want to be seeing what worked on you or what other brands are using, and find ways to use that as a model to create stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So we, just starting from ground zero, a blank slate all the time is the worst way to do anything. I'm sure Alex, right? You never want to just start with a blank canvas, right? You always want to start with something because you need inspiration and mm-hmm. you need a framework. And using what other brands are using is a great way to start off with a framework and then build what you actually want to show the world.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. So at this point, we're actually going to dive into Shopify and Klaviyo on the workshop end of things. So I'm going to stop my screen for 1 second and move over to our new screen. Do we have any questions so far too, Alex, that we want to go over while we're at this point?
So it looks like while I was ranting about my closet, we did get a couple. Sweepstakes. So Louisa is asking about how she can increase her subscribers, and we will be getting to that, I know. Besides Klaviyo, what 3 Shopify store email apps would you recommend? Might be a little open-ended, but
besides Klaviyo, 3 Shopify store email apps. I don't have 3 for you, but I have 2. I recommend for Shopify email and Seguno. I think those are both really good. Those are definitely more like, if they're the best way to get email rolling just right off the bat. It's super easy. And as you can see here, we're actually diving into a test account that we have and to the Shopify email app. And to give you guys a little bit of information on Shopify email, is Shopify email is actually 100% free through October 1st. So a little less than a month. They've been offering this for around the last 4 or 5 months since they launched in springtime. And the great thing about it is after they launch, you can still send up to 2,500 emails free a month. And then after 2,500 emails, you're actually only billed $1 for every 1,000 emails you send. So it's really, really affordable. And if you're at a point where you're still starting to grow and you're still trying to find that traction, you can't really afford to get to the higher level or the more advanced version using a tool like Klaviyo, Shopify email, which we're going to dive into right now, is a great, great tool. And the cool thing is, say if you only send 250 emails out of that 1,000 additional, then you're only charged literally 25 cents. So it's pretty cool. It's really affordable, and it has some great features on it. So yeah, with that being said, another great thing about Shopify email too is they actually have a Gleam integration. So we talked about a couple of sweepstakes tools a minute ago that you can actually run Gleam sweepstakes on gleam.io and integrate directly with Shopify as well. So what we're going to do now is kind of walk you through how you can actually build your first holiday email. So once you log in, it's really easy. You download the Shopify email app directly in the App Store. Once you have downloaded, you log in, you go into create email. And once you're in here, there's several branded templates available. You can see here, it's really cool. They pull information and it makes it super easy. And Shopify has been adding different templates to get ready for the holiday season. So this is a great place, like we said, never starting with a blank canvas. This is a great place to get inspired and use one of these templates and then make it your own. So I'm actually going to log into this, the seasonal sale is here campaign. And I'm going to click on it, which they're calling a sales announcement. And what it does is it pulls it up right here, and it's loading. And this gives me the ability to start working out of the template. And right here, I can break down and pick the customer group I'm going to be sending to. Like I said, this is a test account, so we don't have much data in here. But you can see here, we can choose a different segment or customer group that we want to send to. We can send it to anyone who's subscribed in the last 30 days from the United States, returning but has purchased in the past, new but has not purchased, all subscribers. It gives us a lot of ideas. You can actually build out these segments too, which is pretty cool. So different ones are available. And then right here, we put in the subject line, we put in the preview text, and then we put in the from sender name. So it's really cool how easy it is. We can just type in it here and we can say, I'm going to give an example. Actually, Alex, why don't we do this? Do you have any ideas for copy that we could create off the bat for the whole audience here today for Crouching Surfer Dude's Venice Surf Gear site?
I can.
Keep it super simple. I think it would be cool if we could come up with something and just put it in there on the fly.
Sure. Were we running an offer or?
Yeah, let's say this is going to be let's call this one a 20% off Black Friday email.
Perfect. I think we'd be direct to the point, 20% off for Black Friday.
Yeah, keep it super simple is sometimes the best way to do it, right?
Yep.
20% off for Black Friday. Cool. And then what would you write for preview text for something like this?
Let's say it's longboards and leashes or something.
Yeah.
Longboards and leashes for the surfer in your family. I mean, this isn't going to be my best work.
Yeah. But this is great to just get you guys inspired for how easy it is to get this done. Cool. And then once we're in here to the editing tool, you can see here that Shopify pulls some information directly from your store. So it pulls in your logo. You can always change this out, upload a new logo, do what you want in here. You can remove it totally if you want. You can put in a divide. You can change the divide color. I can change that to black right there. I can change the background color as well. And then as I go into the copy, we can change things around. We can put in a hero image if we like. Like what I could do here is I could put in another image right above. And then I'll go in and select an image. And bingo, the image has been added. It's really easy to do, as you can see here. And we can go down and edit the copy. We can change around the font size. So you want to raise the size of the font. You want to bold it. We can do a lot of cool things in here. You can bold the font.
Off the top of my head, recommendation, if you are running something like a 20% off or any kind of promotion where the font is bigger and more bold and it says the seasonal sale is here, that would be a perfect place to make sure that you put the discount in that headline. You don't always have to, but if it were something that would be very basic right now, I mean, it's attention getting.
Yeah, awesome. And then we go down to call to action buttons. So we have a shop now button here. You can put in a direct link to a collection or a specific product, whatever it is. You can change around the alignment, the background color, so forth. So like I said, this is a really, really cool tool. There's no reason, there's no excuses for why you shouldn't be sending emails with how easy Shopify makes Shopify email. And like I said, it's free 100% till the end of the month. And after that, you get 2,500 free emails that can be sent out. So even if you have a couple 100-person list or a couple 1,000-person list, like you can send out campaigns and make it relatively easy. So any other questions in the chat, Alex, about how to use the tool?
Let me get back through here. Can you send to certain people who have purchased a certain type of product but doesn't apply to everyone? That would be segmenting like we've talked about. Do you want to talk about segmenting in here?
Yeah, a little. I mean, I kind of briefly mentioned it, like what I would always do. And this comes back to strategy and planning. When you're sending a campaign, you always want to know who are you sending that to. Mm-hmm. So are you sending it to your whole subscriber list? Are you sending it to anyone who's opened or joined or bought in the last 60 to 90 days? Are you sending it to just past purchasers? What are you doing? Maybe you're sending it to everyone who has never purchased. Mm-hmm. So it's really good to understand what that's like, because then you're going to be framing the messaging around that.
Great. Carol's asking if you can import your contact list from MailChimp relatively easily.
Yes, you can. You can easily import your contact list into here. Super simple. There is some documentation on it, a couple steps that you want to go through, but it's very, very easy to do that. Yeah.
Awesome. And then Sarah's asking how Shopify pulls the products in from your store, but I would assume that's kind of a... Yeah,
since it's Shopify's app directly, they pull a product feed directly from your store. They're connecting the products, and now you have the ability to pick different products, to pick different collections and so forth. So it's a really cool tool. Like I said, if we go in here and say we want to add in a product, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I pick product, and I can add in the product here.
Mm-hmm.
And right in here, now I can go in and select the product. So I'm going to pick the 11-foot inflatable surfboard SUP, and it ports the product directly into there. So makes it super simple, pulls in all the information, and then you can take things out. Like say you don't want price in there, you've got an expensive item, like you can hide the price.
Mm-hmm.
And change some stuff around. So it's really, really cool. You can also view this on desktop and mobile. One important thing, anytime you're building email campaigns, always optimize for mobile. 80% more of your email traffic is being opened on a mobile device.
Yeah.
So always optimize for mobile first.
And to add to that, make sure when you test, you check it on mobile.
Yes, yes. And also one thing that's super important that many people don't realize is like now with the latest version of iOS, we have black mode, we have the black background mode. And if you actually have black text that is not on a white background, and it's just transparent text, it's transparent, that campaign will actually not, that copy will not be visible. So super important to remember anytime you're building an email campaign that we want to optimize for mobile, but we always want to optimize too and make sure that users that have black mode background on their phone are actually able to see it. So that's a little freebie I'll throw in there for you guys today.
There's one more question that I wanted to send to you. Does Shopify email support custom HTML? I don't think it does it?
I don't think so yet. I don't think they allow custom HTML yet. That might be a question that we want to make sure with Hans, but yeah, I'm gonna go in here real fast just to see. I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
Yeah,
if you're gonna want to go into custom HTML, you're gonna want to be using Klaviyo, which will allow that.
There's a copy question that I think is really important to address. Sue Ellen Tompkins is asking, would you recommend putting the price and product description in the email? No, only because it depends. Definitely not the price, but like product description, you might be pulling some copy from how to describe the product. But it's not sales copy. It's not the same thing as like your description on the site.
Alex, you nailed it. It's not sales copy. Absolutely. You want to make the subject line pop.
Yeah,
you want to pop.
Selling it. You don't want to be just describing it like it's inventory.
Yeah, and someone's also going to have the opportunity to read through that copy once they land on the product page.
Exactly. It would be repetitive. It would be redundant.
Yeah.
Do we want to go to some teardowns of some emails?
Not yet, just because we still have a couple more things I want to go through with Klaviyo and just showing you guys how to send a test before we go through here. Okay. Like I said, this is like, there's no excuse after this webinar why you can't be sending email. If you've felt like you haven't been able to do it up until this point, like this tool is great for you. And last thing I want to show you is like, you can send a test super easy. You put in your email and you press send through, and you can easily send yourself a test. Always send a test in QA your email to make sure the links are working before you move forward. But yeah, so this is Shopify email, and this is like great for anyone who's starting out or beginner and wanting to get things launched. If you're a merchant and you're more advanced, you really want to take it to the next level, that's why you would want to move into Klaviyo. So if you want more robust segmentation and automation and different integrations, we're going to show you a little bit around Klaviyo. And this is the tool that we're using for most of our clients. A lot of our clients are doing over $1 million a year in sales. Most of them are around 3 to 10, 15 million. So a lot of them are using Klaviyo, and Klaviyo is a great tool because you can stay with Klaviyo as you reach into the high 8 figures and 9 figures. So I'm going to log in and actually show you guys around one of our clients real fast. Let me change my screen real fast. Hold on for me for 1 second.
Can I answer a question while you're doing that really fast?
Yeah, totally.
So Savannah is asking, if your brand does more than sell product, for example, speaks to a niche market, is it worth sending emails that are educational and getting sales is not the call to action? Absolutely. We have plenty of those campaigns that we send out. That actually, I think, really helps to not inundate or overwhelm your customer base, because it's not constantly just pushing something that maybe they don't want to buy. You have to present to them a different way that you provide them value. So yes, absolutely. You don't have to have a call to action that is buy this, shop now. It can be follow us on Instagram, read our blog. User-generated content is great. If you have other people who are using your product and you have pictures or links to their social media profiles, and you just want to show that off, or educational content, that's all great.
Yeah, I love it. But if you don't have too many products, like starting off with a lot of content or education features are really, really great, because it's going to keep your audience moving. And what you don't want to do is think that you don't have anything relevant to send and just stop sending.
Right.
What happens is your list is actually going to forget about you. Your community is going to forget about you. So super important to build a calendar. Even if you have one or two products, there's always something you can talk about. Your audience is buying for you for a reason, and think of it as a way to facilitate this community through email, which is your own traffic. It's the traffic you own. Doesn't matter what platform you on, you own those customers, you own those subscribers. So right now we're in one of our clients' brand called Yo Colorado. And this is a really cool brand based out of Colorado. They actually design Colorado-inspired outdoor apparel. And I wanted to bring them up today just because they've had some really good momentum through email marketing over the last year. And this is a brand that actually just started out a few years ago, and they've had such great growth that we actually just had them upgraded to Shopify Plus this last week. And one of the reasons that we did that is because this is a brand that really likes to run special offers and promotions. And so what we're now allowed to do for this brand is, I talked about the tiered structure where you can do a dollar off, when we were talking about different offers. Well, when you're on Shopify Plus, you actually have the ability to create custom scripts. So for this brand, we're actually building a custom script. So during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday week, we'll be able to run a tiered % off structure, and that'll be automatically added to someone's cart. We won't have to put in a different promo code, which is definitely going to help with conversion. So I definitely hope that you guys all aspire to get to Shopify Plus one day. There's so many great features that come along with it. We're really excited to just see this brand grow to the next level in here. So what I wanted to show you in Shopify, in Klaviyo today, is kind of what it looks like to build campaigns in here. So what I'm actually going to start off by doing is I'm going to save this campaign as a template. So to move forward, actually, I can't, it's already built. So we'll walk through the whole process really fast. So what you're going to want to do is log into the campaign tab on the side here. And when you go into creating a campaign, you go into create campaign, you name the campaign. We're going to call this Yo Test. And then you pick you can pick a tag here. So there's a specific tag you want to tag an email with. For this campaign, we're not going to specifically do that. It's not really necessary. When you go to create campaign, and once we're in here, then we can pick the segment that we're going to send to. So we have all of these different segments built out here. I'm going to pick the newsletter list. And then I'm going to say, yes, do not send this campaign to anyone who received an email in the last 16 hours. So anyone who's in an automation sequence isn't going to get a double campaign. And then I'm also going to say, yes, use account default. So you always want to make sure that you add UTM tracking to your emails. UTM tracking is going to give you the ability to look at the source medium on all of your email links in Google Analytics. And it's going to be able to let you track where did sales come from, not only from the dashboards that you're in, like Klaviyo will give you some reporting, but it's always good to be looking Google Analytics as well. So any campaigns you're launching, whether they're ads, affiliate campaigns, email, SMS, always make sure you're using UTM tracking. And the great thing is Klaviyo will put those UTM parameters on here. So we'll move forward. And once we're in here, we can put the from name, the reply name, the subject line. So I'm going to say last chance for 20% off. I'm just going to make this stop. And then we're also going to just say use code YO20. Cool. And then once you're in here, you have the ability to use the rich HTML editing tool, text-based emails. You can use a template, or you can use the HTML editor and actually code and load your emails. So I gotta tell you, the three tools that we're usually using is we're using an existing template. And then once we choose that template, we're using the rich HTML editor. And for most of our clients, this one specifically, I would say 95% of the emails we send are being built in Illustrator, InDesign, or Photoshop. So we're using a design tool. Our design team is actually building out these beautiful emails that are really nicely laid out. And then what we do after we have that email and it's approved, we actually cut it up in Photoshop. So we'll cut up the image, or the email, and then we'll load it into the rich HTML editor, and then we'll put in the links and so forth. So what I can actually do is choose a template. We'll go back to one of the old templates. Actually, I don't know if there's any good ones in here. I'm gonna stop for 1 second, and I'm gonna go back, and because I want you guys to see how this works. So I'm gonna duplicate. I'm gonna clone this campaign real fast. And this is actually a way to, I'm gonna show you guys too, a little trick on how you can save old emails as templates. So once you have the email ready to go, you just go save as template. I'm going to put Shopify test, save as template. And now we're going to go back into the campaign that we started, which is Yo test. Save, continue. Now we're going to go to the template library, and we're going to go to My Templates, and we're going to use the test email. So you'll see here, this is how we usually build campaigns. They're nice and pretty. They're all built in design software, usually Illustrator or Photoshop, and we cut it up. And then what we do here is we link. So we're linking campaigns down here, putting in the links. You can change the image width. But this is a great way, once you get this set up, to just create the template and then rebuild emails in that existing template. So super simple way to do this. The good thing about the editing tool is if I need to add in another image, I can add in another image. Similar to what we were going on in the Shopify email app, I can add in social links, I can add in text, I can add in a lot of things that are pretty cool in here. Like this tool, you can get lost in it. You can do a lot of fun things in here. And you can add in custom code and do other things and so forth. And then you can also save blocks. So if there's a specific block you want to save, you can go in here and you can pick that item that you want to save. And that way you can easily access it and save it and go through. So a little background on how to use Klaviyo. If you want to really do it the pro version, like I said, build these emails out in a beautiful format, or you can build a nice template in Klaviyo, save that template, and then work off of it, bring in copy and images and so forth in there. At this point, do we have any questions, Alex, about Klaviyo or how to use it?
I'm not seeing any questions about Klaviyo. Sorry, guys, I was the sun set on me. I'm East Coast. I'm seeing no specific questions about, when you use Shopify email and when you use Klaviyo, which I think is something you'd covered.
Yeah, for sure. So that's a decision that you've really got to make when you're getting to the next level and you're really getting things moving. So is it something that you want to invest into? Do you want to get do you want to get Klaviyo? Do you want to invest in the automation? Like, that is a big question, and there's no right answer, right? It all depends on where you want to go and what you want to do next.
Perfect. What's a block? That would be a text block, I think Ellie's asking.
Yeah.
Shopify email and Klaviyo be used at the same time? I don't think there's...
Yeah, you totally could. You can send, if you'd like to use both, you could totally do that. Now, if you're going to invest in Klaviyo, you're paying for it. So there's no reason why the different tiered structure is based off of how many emails you're sending and how many people are in your database. So I would definitely recommend that you just use Klaviyo at that point, but you could totally go back and forth if you wanted to capture some opportunity there.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's it.
Cool. Well, yeah. So like I said, guys, kind of going through this whole process we talked about, now that we're in Klaviyo and we're kind of showing you how to build campaigns, and we're kind of going through Shopify email, is you always want to start off building out that whole campaign strategy, getting that calendar locked in, building the briefs, and then getting your team moving. Finding a copywriter, finding a designer. If you can't afford those people yet, then start learning how to do it on your own. Keep it simple. Remember, building beautiful campaigns takes years of experience, and it does take a lot of time and resources, but this is something you can definitely do on your own if you want to start off. And then if you want to get into a team, you can hire an agency like Breadloaf to go through the program, to get us to manage it and execute it for you, or you can get your own team internally and work with freelancers and so forth. So I hope that was really helpful. And at this point, what I actually want to do is kind of go into a couple more questions and actually do a breakdown. So I know we talked about doing a little bit of the email breakdown. Alex, did you see any emails come forward that we might want to dive into?
I haven't looked at them yet, but we do have several emails.
Awesome. So I'm going right in here right now, and I see an email from Broglie Box, which is Julie Broglie. So I'm going to open this one and kind of go through it real fast. I'm going to share my screen with everybody.
Perfect, because mine's not coming up. Okay, perfect. Sorry about my lighting, guys. Everything changed when the sun went down.
All right. So I'm looking at the email from Broglie Box. Okay, so the first thing I'm noticing right here is that there is a lot of white space. So the number one thing you want when you have an email, this first fold should be put together. We should see a big iconic hero image. I don't know if it's because the email was forwarded while there's all this empty space, but now we're going here. What I see is this logo should always be super small. It shouldn't be more than 100, 150 pixels in depth, going in vertical. It should be small. We should always have a small logo. That way we can see that big iconic hero image or that copy. So just off the bat, a lot of space that I want to button up. Also, I would put an image right before the logo, and then also start centering the copy and just kind of taking care of this. Alex, do you have any questions? Do you have any feedback on the copy that you're seeing here?
I see that Julia is making sure we know it was because the email was forwarded. So I think
that makes sense. Yeah.
However, there's still, I think, far too much copy, and it should definitely be strategized. The copy itself, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. It always exists in concert with the design. So you kind of have to know what your design is. That's why I think the Shopify template works so well, because it already gives you those preset hero image areas, the header, the subhead, and then an area with a call to action. So if you can just streamline it and think about the ones that work on you. Think about little postcard flyers that only say what the deal is, something clever, and then a call to action. I see this as a welcome email.
Yeah.
So that kind of requires a little bit more filling out, but you can always link to learn more about our family and link them to the site. And that's a call to action in and of itself.
Yep. I do like how this is a very inviting email. Here's your Broglie Box discount code, and it's got a little emoji in there. So yeah, Julia, I hope that helped. Let's see if there's any others.
Yeah, there's the last one that we got from Zapka Decor. I think it looks like it's in pretty good shape. So why don't we rip into this one?
All right, cool. Yeah, this is really, really great. I like this. Now, what I'll tell you with this email is it's more built for desktop than mobile. So what I always like to do with hero images is usually make the copy centered in this, right? And kind of play around with it. But I do like what you're doing with this. The one thing I'm also noticing, biggest pet peeve of mine, always link any image. So right here, I can see that this image is not linked, and there's already no call to action in the hero image. So I would place a call to action, shop now or explore more in there, and then also make sure it's linked. Any images that you put in an email, always make sure they're linked. That's an opportunity for someone to click.
And think about what you do. A lot of times you tap wherever you can, and you assume it's going to take you somewhere. So every time that doesn't take them somewhere, it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Any feedback, Alex, on the copy here?
I think it's still a little too much. I think you have great information in there, but it maybe needs to be strategized a little bit better, again, with the design, and maybe more concise and a little bit larger. This, again, not optimized for mobile necessarily, but I think that there is this move toward a more modern design that might just be the segment of people that we're used to writing copy for, but it's a lot more visual. It's a lot more image based. And then text is sort of secondary to that.
Yeah. And I would also, one thing that I would add to what Alex is saying is think about what visually stimulates people in 2020. Where are they spending their time? Are they on Instagram? Are they on Pinterest? Are they reading articles? Whatever it is, realize who your customer is. And who knows, you might realize that your customer, maybe in a specific niche or market, is someone that wants a lot of information, wants to do a lot of reading. But for the most part, what we find for B2C is you want to focus on being visual. B2B, you can add more. If you're selling a B2B product or service or a SaaS product, you can definitely have more copy in there, and it can be more depth. But what we see for B2C is people want to be inspired. They want to be visually see what's going on. And also, if you have a beautiful product, if you've got great photography, this is a chance to highlight it and inspire someone for why they would buy your product.
And I think that there's value in taking something like this, which is an email that I see has a lot of potential to be a blog post. And instead of having the email with all of the information in it, why not make a blog post and then link to the blog post from a more concise version of the email? Because just reading this copy, it's not a bad idea to suggest to people why they should decorate their house during a pandemic. There's definitely an angle there. It brings a little bit of cheer. It's the seasons aren't going anywhere. The holidays are still coming around. So I think that if you have the idea to do something that's a little bit more long-winded as an email, make it a blog post. And then
totally. Yeah, there's ways that you can integrate a blog post into the stuff you're doing, and you don't have to put the full blog post in there. You can put bits and pieces and some imagery in there.
Onto your site.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. By the way, guys, I know I mentioned at the beginning of this, and we're going to continue with a couple more of these. I know we're running over an hour. We've ran over an hour now, but I know I mentioned at the beginning that I've got something special for you guys today. We actually have two things we're going to do. So one thing is the slides that we prepared. We're going to be sending those over. We're going to be sending a follow-up email after this with access to those slides, and you're going to be able to also access the replay for the webinar today. So like I said, there's no excuses for why you guys can't implement this on your own. If you need to rewatch it, it's super easy. Go back here, watch and stop, and kind of make sure that you guys can implement this. And second of all, I'm also giving you guys the opportunity to take a call with us. If you're interested in a free retention assessment, 15-minute call with me, and what we can do is really do a little bit deeper of a dive into your business, where you guys are at right now, what we could potentially do to help you. Also share a little bit more information about the Brain Marketer coaching program that we've built for smaller e-commerce brands. I'm going to put a link directly in the chat right now where you can schedule a call. And super simple. Every time we've done this, the schedule fills up very, very fast. Mm-hmm. So if you're interested in it, I highly recommend going in there because my schedule only allows people to book out a meeting so many days in advance. So like I said, every time we do this, schedule gets super booked. So really get in there and make sure you schedule some time with me. I'd love to be able to talk with all of you guys, give you feedback and advice. And if it's a good fit, we can talk about how we could potentially work together, or we always like to give you some nuggets on what you can do to really implement this on your own. So now that we said that, I also wanted to include a link to the Shopify Growth Labs community. If you're not a part of the community yet, I highly recommend you join. We're always in there, trying to answer questions whenever we can. And this is a great way to just, get access to a great community of Shopify merchants and experts like us with any questions you may have. So I just dropped the link in there as well. And then right off the bat, last thing I'm going to put in there, if you're interested in our Retention Lab program, this is a great way that you can schedule an audit with us. So I'm going to put that link in there as well. And like I said, you guys have our emails too. So if you want to reach out to us, it doesn't hurt to get back to us that way. But I wanted to give us a little bit more time to just dive into a couple more of these hot seats before we have to go today. Alex, did you want to pick another one?
Sure. I'm just putting our emails back in there.
Oh, yep. We're getting schedules right there in my inbox. So like I said, guys, take advantage of that.
Let's do Smile Smacker. 10% off. Mine is a test email from Smile Smacker.
I'm trying to look right now. It's
toward the earlier ones that we got. Or look for one that's from Flash. I don't know where that is. I think it maybe just went to you. Flash.
I do not see it.
Flash, you want to send that one again?
All right, I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to pick this one from Randy Graham.
Okay.
All right, silver chain pendants. We've got Twisted Shade Studios. All right, I like what we've got going on here. Emoji up in the subject line, new release, silver chain pendants. We got a big hero image with a little copy, call to action. So Alex, you want to start off with any copy feedback?
Right off the bat, I think it's still, they feed into each other, design and copy. Yeah. The copy itself is kind of lost within the design. And I don't think it's important to have the name. Can you scroll up a little bit, Mark?
Yep, for sure.
I don't think it's important to have the name of the studios at the top because your customer base knows where it's coming from, and it will probably be somewhere else in the message. And that also steals some very valuable, above the fold space.
Yeah, for sure.
You want to put your big headline up there, what you're selling. Preferably it would be something catchier than just what the name of the product is. But if that's all you got, hey, that'll do the job.
Sure.
Or the name of the studios is Twisted Sage. I would put a big header, and then within the green box, that could be your subheader to describe a little bit better what you're selling. And then other than that, I think you have a call to action. It's pretty simple in that respect.
Yeah, I agree. What I would really look into is you have, these pendants here, and it's hard to see it's hard to really see the characteristics of the jewelry. Mm-hmm. And what I would do is really focus on high res shots or even lifestyle shots of this being the product being worn and styled. So the reason that lifestyle shots are so important is because people can actually see how the product is styled and worn, and it inspires them to buy it and do it. So yeah, this is a very visual, it's a unique product, and it's, piece of jewelry, it needs to look like $1 billion. It needs to have high res.
Yeah. There's that, but then also seeing it on a model or something, if you have the ability to use product photography in that way, it always helps.
For sure. And then I would also make this longer. It's very short So like I said, this would be just the big hero image, starting off. And then I would go into, product or some type of copy that's kind of talking a little bit more about it, another call to action, then bring in some more lifestyle shots and break this up. Think about an email should always be like a mini landing page. Like it should be beautiful. It should be informative. It should give someone a full experience. And if it's too short, this in my opinion is a little too short, but it's definitely like a step in getting in the right direction. Cool. All right. I see Bettina here. I'm going to dive into this one. I love this one because I'm a big sailor. So I'm really excited to see what Sale Exchange is. All right. So we're going into this email, Sale Exchange, Spinnaker sales 10% off. Don't miss out. Sale Exchange yearly Spinnaker sale. All right. So again, Alex, you kind of want to dive into this, kind of give some feedback?
Sale Exchange. This could be an opportunity to inject a little bit of like a personality from the brand into your copy. It's hard to say what that might be just, on first glance, but maybe that's a question that you should ask yourself about, like developing a brand toward who your audience is and how do they speak and how do they address themselves and each other and how might they want to be addressed. So I think it's a good opportunity to just take a look at your audience and see how you can speak to them a little bit more personally.
Absolutely. What I would add to that is, being a big sailor myself, if I'm interested in buying a new spinnaker for my boat, I want to see an iconic shot of of these sails in action. And I'm sure you guys have a few of those shots. I would put in a big shot up here, then I would start putting in the discount. I would also give a statement being like, hey, these sales do not go on sale very often. This is your one opportunity of the year to get the sale before it's your last chance. Really sell hard. And then really, like I said, add it visual. Sales are a product that have a utility, right? So let's talk about the features. Let's talk about the reasons that Sale Exchange is important and what makes their sales more exciting. So that's some of the feedback that I would give in here. Yep. And then also at the bottom, if you got social icons, things like that, I would add that down there. But yeah, I think it's, like I said, I love that you guys are using the tools. I see that you guys are using HubSpot for this, which is cool. So yeah, I hope that helped.
Yeah.
Alex, you want to pick one more?
Sure.
Wow, lots of people coming through. How about Keja Jewelry?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Do you want to start off, Alex?
Sure. Okay. Can you scroll back up? Sorry, I was looking at it on my.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, that headline text can be really big and bold. And then scroll down. Sorry, Mark.
Yep, no worries.
I can't tell if it's an advertisement for a sale or for the Facebook Live event. So I think maybe it needs to be a little bit
more.
One
call to action. Absolutely.
Call to action. I'm also not a big Facebook user, so I don't know if maybe that's something that you can do. But again, that might be something that speaks to your target audience and they know what you're talking about, but I didn't. So I think it's just a little unclear. One call to action and focus.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, visual product, jewelry, let's get some more high res shots. It's great to see one lifestyle shot, but let's see it styled a couple different ways. Also the button, anytime there's lining structure, these are a lot of my pet peeves, making sure that there's spacing, making sure that the call to action button is right. Also, this is the basic font, that you're going to use. I would pull a font that's more on brand. Also, I do not like using background color. So anything here on the background, I always like to keep white just because it's simpler, it's easier to see. And then here, I would keep this, I would make this logo a lot smaller. So definitely make it smaller, like tighten things up there, and then make it a little longer, you know. But I think this is cool. You guys are what you guys have done with the Facebook Live. Facebook Lives are a great way if you've got a good community to announce a product release or really get people together. So like we have one client, they're called plane tags. They make these iconic keychains out of old aircraft. And we actually created a Facebook group just for the fans, and they're trading these products. They're starting to collect them. Like they're putting them on eBay. They're constantly talking with each other. When we launch a new product, we actually go live and give them early access before we send an SMS or an email. So always think of like, how do I communicate with my community? Your customers are more than just someone who's making a transaction with you. You can turn them into an advocates. You can turn them into people who love you and would go to war for you. You know, so always great to think about like, how do I harness that community? Mm-hmm. Cool. So at this point, I think we just open it up to a couple more questions. Any other good questions in there?
Do you recommend to have the brand logo on top? Not necessarily, which is something we kind of addressed.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's always, you know, anytime you're sending an email, this is one thing that I kind of want to talk about with brand logo. You always want to make sure that the email template is familiar. So sometimes like we worked with clients in the past that are like, they want us to like pull a rabbit out of a hat and like redesign an email every time. And I'm like, that is the worst thing you could be doing, because humans are creatures of habit. And when we follow someone, when we like something, when we're opening an email, we want it to be something that we remember, that we know how to dissect, that we know how to absorb. And if we make it more difficult and we're just shooting emails around or shooting around images and changing things up and changing around the header, it's going to be more difficult for us to actually like comprehend and like understand and see. So keep templates. Maybe you have one or two templates that you go back and forth with. I wouldn't do anything more than that. And just kind of keep this framework. And what you're going to see is you're going to get some better results off that.
Mm-hmm. I don't see questions that are specific to Shopify email defaults. So Jack said that the Shopify email defaults to having the logo at the top.
Yeah, it does default, which is great. It's in there, and you can always take that out. I think when I was showing you guys the editing tool earlier, actually, we can dive into that. Can pull it up real fast again, just so I can show you guys in Venice Surf Gear. So if you notice this top logo up here, if I want to remove this, I can remove it.
Perfect.
So the editing tool makes it super simple to really take stuff out. So to say I just wanted to keep this super clean at the top, I could remove this as well.
Awesome.
And just take that out. So I hope that's helpful. Any other questions?
I'm not seeing anything that we haven't really touched on already.
Cool. Well, I know we're about an hour and a half into this, and thank you all so much for joining today. Like I said, if you want to get in touch with us, if you're interested in our brand marketer program, or you're interested in working with us directly on the agency end and having us scale and run your email marketing, please feel free to get in touch with us. Like I said, we'll be sending a follow-up email with access to the slides, so you guys can just take that campaign calendar that we went through. And I definitely recommend rewatching this, like taking some time and making sure that you guys are ready to go for the holiday season. Get that list, start list building, start doing some partnerships, make sure you get that campaign calendar backed out. And you do not want to be sending a Black Friday email at Thursday night on Thanksgiving. If you're doing that, you've already failed. So the one thing you take away from this is make sure you get this done well in advance. When you put more thought into these campaigns and you spend more time on it, I know it's tough. You guys have got a million things you're going on in a business, whether it's just you or you got a small team, whatever it is. But the more thought you put into these, the more strategic you are, the better the results are going to be. So like I said, I'm really, really happy that you guys all took some time out of your day to really educate yourself and learn during these times. And really stoked. Alex, anything else you want to finish off with the group?
Covered everything, and we hope to see you guys soon and talk to you again soon. Thank you very much for joining us.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. I'm so stoked to see that people stayed on till the end. And like I said, if we weren't able to get to you on the little crash dissection of email, feel free to schedule a 15-minute call with me, and we'll take some time to go through your stuff.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.